Jenkins, their head basketball coach, right here in the middle of the season. They have 9 games until the postseason starts, CCAT.
What are they, like a 20-win team? It makes sense. They fire coaches early when that happens.
This is the issue I have. Not only were they not a 20-win team, they were a 44-29 team, 5th in the Western Conference, a team that literally a couple of weeks, like last week this time, they had home court advantage in the first round. At one point, they were the 2 seed in the West, and the brass in Memphis decided Taylor Jenkins, who has been there since 2019, who has been a mainstay there. It's not like he's anybody that jumps off the page. It's not like he has a high demand to go elsewhere. So I'm curious what this does to his coaching career. They literally gave him the axe right in the midst of their push for a better playoff seeding. Ja Morant didn't play last night. They lost to the Thunder in a huge way by about 20 points or so. And the weirdest part about all of this, CCAT, is when the Grizzlies put out their press release, I'm about to read it here verbatim for you, it literally left us maybe with more questions than answers. Here it is from Grizzlies PR 2 hours ago. The press release put out, Dateline, Memphis, Tennessee. The Memphis Grizzlies today announced they have parted ways with head coach Taylor Jenkins. And here's a quote from their president and GM of basketball operations, Zach Kleiman. I'm genuinely appreciative of Taylor's contributions to this team and this city over the past 6 seasons. It's the first part. Anything strike a bell with you right there?
Nope, that feels like a chat GPT.
Okay, cool. This is good then. All right, next line. This was a difficult decision given the consistent and tangible development of our players and overall success under Taylor's leadership.
Yeah, I feel like if your players are being developed well, i.e. Ja Morant, you didn't ruin a top 2 pick, and you're winning games, and you're in a playoff push, he's pretty much doing his job in the top 10% he could do.
Yes, he is. But that's not all. It says, I wish Taylor the very best going forward. This is a short press release. Like, I'm going to show it on our YouTube stream for people that are watching, but also you can notice how short it was by the fact that I'm already done with it. This was a very short press release, which tells me multiple things. Number one, the fact that this was a surprise firing and they're in the middle of a playoff push, obviously they didn't feel like he was the man for the job that could help them into the future. Number two, the brevity of this press release reminds me of the brevity of emails I've received when I've worked at places and somebody got let go unceremoniously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not too much to expand upon.
Yeah. Like, we wish him well. We wish her well. They are no longer an employee here. Like, you know, when somebody is being even fired sometimes, but sometimes it's more of a mutual departing of ways or whatnot, or maybe it was just your contract runs out, you'll get a nice hearty email and here's how you can reach them and this, that, and the third. This was 2 sentences, if that, and it was the way in which they announced the firing of their coach when they have to assume the rest of America has a lot of questions surrounding this because we did not know this guy was on the hot seat. They're second in their division. They lost the game last night, but Ja Morant has been hurt, and Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, even Santi Aldama, like the guys that they've gotten in the draft and developed there, most of them have actually outperformed what we expected them to be on this roster, and it all happened under Taylor Jenkins' watch. I am highly skeptical of what the actual reasoning for this was. I'm curious if it was some kind of personal relationship that went south and sour to go along with the fact that they didn't believe in him, right? I think that's step one. We don't think you're the guy. Step two, you did some things that were either rubbed somebody the wrong way or something that was unforgivable from that front office where we decided to give you the axe in late March. It makes absolutely no sense. And CCAT, I'm not sure if you've seen anything on Twitter or anything whatnot. I know we were just busy doing our interview and welcoming in the good folks there representing Travis Hunter. I haven't seen anybody report anything of tangible evidence of why they would have done this outside of, well, he might not have gotten them to a win in the first round.
So you think something happened behind the scenes that's going to come out maybe tomorrow or later today?
What else am I supposed to anticipate or expect? There's nothing else that could describe this. This is unprecedented. In all my time watching, covering, experiencing, even as a fan, the NBA, I haven't seen a team pull the trigger like this close to the playoffs. Now, last year we saw the Bucks give the axe to Adrian Griffin in his first year with them, and Milwaukee was not only 30-13 at the second best record in the league. They had, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, they looked like they were well on their way to be a contender in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks give him the axe mid-season and hire Doc Rivers. But then it was all explained away because, number one, they felt like their defense had fallen off, which the front office made a huge mistake there. I'm no basketball genius, but CCAT, when you trade Drew Holiday away for Damian Lillard, are you expecting to, you're not necessarily going to have the steel curtain after that.
That's the price of doing business with Dame Lillard.
Yeah. Like he's a negative defender. Drew Holiday is one of the best perimeter defenders in the past 20 years in this league. So yeah, their defense took a step back. He was criticized for that. The other part of the Bucks situation was, CCAT, they had Doc Rivers as an advisor. He was in an advisory role with the Milwaukee Bucks when they made the decision to fire Adrian Griffin. And just curious, you know who the coach of the Bucks is right now?
The Doc Rivers?
It's Doc Rivers. So that was a little dirty Mac. That was a little dirty Mackin. He was over there sliding in homegirl DMs talking about, man, that dude ain't right for you. That dude ain't right for you. He can't get you the way that I could. Give me a chance. And Doc Rivers took over that job.
Like you said, there's no tangible other details about this. No one's really reporting it, just theorizing and trying to connect dots to make this make sense, to make it make sense that an NBA team who's fifth in the West fired their coach just before the playoffs. John Calipari coached Arkansas last night. Got eliminated the following day. Memphis Grizzlies fire their head coach. We talk about it in college, how coaches and teams are trying to get ahead of the curve on the coaching carousel. Is there a possibility that we're going to see a one-stop shop for John Calipari?
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So here's the question. If Arkansas got bounced in the first round, if this was their angle, if Arkansas got bounced in the first round, does he get fired 2 weeks ago despite the fact that they're, 2-4 in their last 6 games and they have fallen off a bit? Or do they have to wait until they lose a couple games in a row to justify it?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell.
We didn't have to cross that bridge, so.
Right. I was about to say, they were rooting for Arkansas. They were like, come on, give them one more week. We need to get this thing into the tank. Hey, Ja, just pull up on your hamstring one time at practice. We'll hold you out here. We need to lose a couple of games. The Grizzlies have since named an assistant as their interim coach, and that is Tomas Lisalo. Tomas Lisalo. Shams Charania tweeting this again. This is from ESPN. Shams Charania saying, sources tell ESPN Lisalo, a native of Finland, is a former Finnish professional player and coach. He was he was head coach of the Paris basketball in 2024, winning the Euro Cup, actually, a Euro Cup champion and Euro Cup coach of the year. So that's going to be their interim. And I guess he was on the staff with the Grizzlies. There's a couple of odd things about this, CCAT. Number one, Taylor Jenkins. This was underreported because nobody really gives a damn about the Grizzlies most of the time.
Yep, you kind of got that one.
But Jenkins, who got that job in 2019, has been a mainstay there. Last offseason, he flipped his entire staff. So this assistant that's coming in here, that's taking over as the head coach now, he's new. I'm not sure if this is a Jenkins guy or if this is a guy that is locked in with the GM of the Grizzlies and the person that made the decision to fire Taylor Jenkins. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe it was a little internal dirty macking like we got from Doc Rivers before. Or you're right. Maybe they saw, John L. Davis in Arkansas go down late and they said, well, now that Calipari is free, we want him back in the NBA, which I'm not sure what evidence gives them to think that if Calipari had the most NBA talent of all time in the past 2 decades at Kentucky and only won 1 national championship, how he would take NBA talent and win games in the big leagues.
Yeah, I guess it's just what is different today that was changed from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or even yesterday. It was that John Calipari was no longer coaching his team, and Coach Cal kind of proved something with Arkansas in his first season there.
Are you doing that thing that people do where it's like link big name coach to insert job here just to give it a little fire, fuel the flame a little bit?
Trying to make sense of it, man.
Me too.
Trying to make sense of it, and that's the only thing I'm coming up with other than theorizing about trouble behind the scenes, which this is not tangible. I can't conceptualize a argument that leads to a firing or a mutual departure.
The other recent NBA coach firing that seemingly came out of nowhere at first, and then we learned later why. Boston Celtics. At the time, what were they, the runners-up in the NBA Finals? Ime Udoka.
Really, it was a firing and